graphic cards, you get the most value by buying in the middle of the price range. But CPUs are completely different. For CPUs, the cheapest chips give you the best value. But the cheapest CPUs have a problem. The cheapest CPU might not be enough to meet your demand. To solve this, we just need a simple rule. Your graphics card decides your frame rate. Your processor's only job is to not hold it back. So all you gotta do is buy just enough CPU to not bottleneck your GPU. So find your graphics card and your resolution on this ladder and you got your chip. The lower your resolution, the harder your CPU works. So at 4K, your graphics card is doing nearly all of the work. So a mid-range chip is plenty. But if you're chasing high frame rates at 1080p, the CPU suddenly matters a lot. So the rule is simple. The faster your GPU and the lower your resolution, the more CPU you should buy. Average frame rates hide something, smoothness, and that's where one type of chip pulls away. Those X3D chips from AMD have a huge slab of cache that games love. They don't just push high averages, they also make the 1% lows much more tolerable and helps prevent stuttering in games. And that's why it can be worth paying a premium for those, even though the raw values say otherwise. And the chip is only part of the cost. Every CPU needs a motherboard, a cooler, and the right memory. And that's where hidden costs live. Newer platforms want pricier motherboards and DDR5 memory. Older ones can run on cheaper motherboards and only use DDR4 memory. So when you compare two CPUs, you have to compare the whole package, not just the sticker. If you're pairing a budget graphics card and gaming at 1080p, you do not need to spend big here. Here, the cheapest capable chip really does win. Something like the Core i3 14100F at $114 is the best raw value on the whole board. And it will happily feed a budget card at 1080p. It even runs in the cheaper DDR4, which drops your total build cost significantly. But there is a catch that is worth about $30 to fix. That Intel platform is basically a dead end. If you ever want a faster chip later down the road, you're gonna have to replace the motherboard as well. So if you plan to upgrade in the future, I would suggest going for AMD instead and pay just a bit more. The Ryzen 5 7500F is the budget value king. It's based on the same idea but costs just a bit more money. But in exchange for that additional money, you get AM5 as a socket instead. That means that in a few years, you can drop in a much faster chip without having to buy a new motherboard. Let's say you have a solid graphics card and you plan to play at 1440p. For this, you want a bit more CPU, just enough that it never holds that card back. Around $180 is a sweet spot for this. And it does double duty. It has strong frame rates now, and it has a good upgrade path in the future. The Ryzen 5 9600X at 177 won't bottleneck a mid-range card at 1440p. It sips only 65 watts when gaming, and it's on the AM5 platform. But if you'd rather go Intel for a bit more multi-core muscle at the same price, then that's a strong value option as well. Both are great chips. The Intel one is fast for the money, but remember the whole package rule. It's on a socket that's already ending, so you're paying for a platform you can't upgrade. And if you're not sure which CPU matches your card without bottlenecking it, then you don't have to guess. Drop your budget into the PC builder at MaxMyBuild.com and it balances the CPU against your graphics card and pairs the right board and memory automatically. It's free, it doesn't require an account, it's the first link in the description. Now for the tire that most gamers actually want, the chip with the big cache. If you got a fast graphics card and you chase high frame rates, then this is the chip for you. Not because it's the cheapest per frame, it isn't, but because of those 1% lows I showed you earlier. So if you want the best, we have the Ryzen 7, either 70X100X3D or 90X100X3D. That extra 3D V cache is basically a gaming cheat code. It keeps a high-end card fed and it crushes the 1% lows. So games will feel a lot smoother than what the raw average suggests. It has 8 cores, 16 threads, and it only uses 65 watts in real gaming. In real games, it keeps pace with chips that cost a lot more, and it does it while staying cheap to cool and cheap to run. For the vast majority of gaming builds, this is where the ladder should stop. But if you want the outright best, there's one last option. And to be clear, the upgrade from the 7800X3D is not some 16-core monster. The chip that people actually compare it to is its direct successor, the Ryzen 7 90X100X3D at $449. It has the same 8 cores gaming formula, it's just newer and faster, and unlike the older one, it's unlockable for overclocking. It's the best pure gaming CPU you can buy right now, and it's still on the AM5 platform as well. Are you on team best value or on team best there is? Drop it below, I'm genuinely curious what the split looks like. Is it worth the extra $80 odd over the 7800X3D? Only if you want the absolute best and you'll keep it for years. For most people, the cheaper X3D games almost identically. Which brings us to the chip people buy for the wrong reasons. The big 16-core chip is not a gaming upgrade. In pure gaming, it's actually a touch slower than the 90X100X3D I just showed you. It only makes sense if you also do heavy work besides it. The Ryzen 9 9950X3D at 679 is a monster for video editing, 3D and streaming while you play. If that's you, one chip does everything. But if you only game, those extra cores sit idle. So for pure gaming, you'd pay over $200 more and get slightly less. And that's a core count trap. You don't need 12 or 16 cores to game, 8 is plenty. So buy the big chip because you create with it, not because you game with it. So one thing to remember, buy just enough CPU to not bottleneck your graphics card. And for most enthusiasts, that's the Ryzen 7 70X100X3D. And if you want the whole build balanced around your graphics card and budget, board, cooler and memory included, that's exactly what the PC builder at MaxMyBuild.com does for you. It's the first link down in the description.